Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli, and this is the Vigorelli Institute. We're outside today. And reason for that. Well, some of you may not know this, but let me lift this up here so you can see me a little bit better. Yeah, alright. But I like to travel, and one of the things that I like to do is I like to travel to places that are a little bit on the weird side. Remember a few months ago when I published a video that was, there's bugs, that was all about a battlefield that may or may not have been haunted, okay? Well, it actually was haunted. However, when I recorded the video there, it was clean. It's because I cleaned it, okay? That's kind of what I do. Okay? And the thing is, I know a lot about spirits. I know a lot about ghosts and other stuff like that. Okay? I've been doing it since I was a kid. Okay? Kind of runs in the family a little bit. Well, let's talk a little bit about that, shall we? There's runners here. I'm in what's called a greenway. It's okay. Now, what is a spirit? Well, a spirit is an entity that does not have a body. That's a very general term. There's good spirits, there's bad spirits, and there's ones in the middle, okay, that are neutral. Okay, neither good nor bad. They kind of have their own thing going, all right? Now, just because something is good does not mean that it is helpful. Just because something is bad does not mean it's not going to try and help you out, okay? It just kind of depends. Okay. So, what pertains to a spirit versus a ghost? This is where things get interesting. Okay, a ghost is an entity that used to inhabit a physical body that it was born into. This used to be a sentient individual. Okay. Something has happened to this person, and they're not alive anymore. Okay? Well, it goes a little bit deeper than that. Now, the difference between that and a spirit is a spirit knows it's dead, or at least non-corporeal, and it has also been to the spirit world, and it is perfectly sentient, just like you or me. Well, at least me. I don't know about you. You could be nuts. Anyway. A ghost might know that they're dead, but they might not be able to do anything about it. Okay? So one of the major distinguishing characteristics between a ghost and a spirit is a ghost has not crossed. That is, gone into the spirit world, done whatever it is they do, and come back. A spirit has. Big difference. Okay? Now, a ghost might know that they're dead. They might not. They might think that they are perfectly alive, and it's still whatever year it is when they passed away. It might even be the same day. They might not even perceive anything past their death. Okay? Meaning they are still locked in at the last few moments of their corporeal existence. Okay? Which, if they went out kind of on a violent end, yeah, very sad. Okay? So, how do we distinguish it? Well, if you have the opportunity, you talk to them. Now, when you address them, you don't go, "I'm sorry, are there any spirit people here?" Like this one show I used to watch on the Travel Channel. Okay, first of all, remember, ghosts probably don't know they're dead, okay? If they do, they A, don't care, or B, do care, but there's nothing they can do about it. Otherwise, they would have crossed, okay? I've come across a few of those stories later. This is kind of an intro, okay? Also, one of the clear indicators of a ghost is if they had, shall we say, an unsavory end, they will bear the marks of whatever injury or condition that they had at the moment of their demise. Okay? So they could be missing body parts. They could be covered in red stuff. They could be sick. They could be cold. They could be hot, etc. Okay? It just depends. So that's pretty much it about ghosts, coming to think of it. Now, if they are sentient, at least partially so, that ghost will have the knowledge of their life and the world. However, that knowledge will halt at the moment of their death. Okay? Along with that, if the ghost is more than sentient, they will understand what is going on, and they may or may not try to intervene in it. Okay? And that's where we get into some very specific hauntings. So, I could have just created a segue. Let's move on, shall we? Alright, so, what exactly is a haunting? Well, first of all, there's two kinds. One, there is a ghost haunting. Second, there is an event haunting. We'll do ghost haunting first because that's closest to what we were talking about, okay? So, a ghost haunting, well, hauntings in general, require a few things. One of them, it needs some kind of event, okay? This event has to be significant. It does not necessarily have to be worthy of a Wikipedia entry or a note in any kind of historical archive, okay? It could simply be, my boyfriend walked out on me, or my son got hit by a car, or something horrible, okay? Whatever it is. By the way, trigger warnings. Anywho, cicadas. If you can hear that, cicadas. It's not a bloom year, by the way. That's next year. Oh boy. Now, second of all, there has to be a significant and very primal emotion around that event. There must be fear, there must be sadness, there must be anger, there must be hatred, there must be lust, there must be love. Yes, love will induce it. Not as common, but it does happen. Okay, especially if that love is misplaced. Okay, or if it's turned toxic for some reason. Okay? So you've got that. So, a lot of that going on. Why aren't we inundated? I'll tell you. Thirdly, because we're on 3 now. Thirdly, you need the proper environment. Okay? One of the things that you need is this. Rock. Well, we're on a planet. There's lots of rock. Yes, but it's a very specific kind. Silicate. Okay? You need an environment rich in silicate. A brick house, for instance. Animals. Okay? But there's plenty of old wooden shacks that are haunted. Yes. Look at the geology around that house. Okay? Loaded with stuff like slate. Okay? Which is filled with silicon. Here's why that's important. Silicate is what is called a semiconductor. Okay? That's why we use it in our technology, like this camera that I'm recording on, or the phone that's in my pocket. Okay? It both stores and transmits electromagnetic radiation, i.e. electricity. Okay? Which, by the way, is basically all a ghost is when you look at it from a physics perspective. It's just an electromagnetic anomaly. Okay? Because it, well, shouldn't be there. That's what an anomaly is. I know. Anyway. What happens is whatever pattern that is that haunting gets locked into the silicate crystals, and as soon as conditions are right, it pops out. Okay? Does whatever it does, and there it is. Okay? But that's not the whole story. Otherwise, again, everything would have a haunting, and it doesn't. Okay? Now, the next piece you need has three components to it. You need, one, an area low in comparative elevation. Two, it needs to be dark, usually. Three, you need water. Now, I chose the spot that I'm filming at right now, this greenway in particular, because one, loaded with silicate. Two, I've got a slow river right over there. Okay? Three, I'm in Tennessee. It's a wee bit humid here. Okay? Not as much as it has been, but, well, there we are. Okay? I think we're at like 60% today, which, where I grew up, that's called a rainstorm. Yeah. Okay? So, with all of this stuff, it's kind of like a fill meter, okay? You need so much, okay? So let's say that this space here, my thumb, is above the thumb activation of the haunting, okay? Now, I have the event, I have the emotion, I have the silicate, but it's dry. Rainstorm, boom, baby. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, that's going to be needed, one, for whatever the haunting is to actually be seated. Okay? Two, same or similar conditions are going to be needed for, one, the haunting to manifest, and two, for it to be perceived. Okay? It actually wouldn't surprise me if at any given time that haunting is persistently replaying itself, but that's for a little bit. Okay? Well, okay then. Looks like that's over. Jet happens. Anyway, so a ghost haunting versus an event haunting, okay? Now, a ghost haunting, what will happen is you can interact with this person, okay? Just because they don't have a body doesn't mean they won't interact with you. This is, you walk into a haunted restaurant, story on that, later, probably another video. You sit down at the table, this guy sits down across from you, and you have a full conversation with him. That's a ghost haunting, okay? An event haunting is you walk into this old house, and this lady in period dress walks past you, pays you no mind, screams, and then disappears. Okay? That's an event haunting. Now, a ghost haunting is what I like to call a true haunting. Okay? An event haunting is the pattern of the event is locked in the silicate, and every now and again it just pops out and plays. Jeez, you bugs are noisy. You hear that? Blimey. Okay? Now, just because an event haunting is going on does not necessarily mean that there is a trapped entity there or a malignant entity there, okay? It could just be a memory being played over and over and over again, okay? And those ones you really don't need to worry about. Yeah, they're creepy, but, you know, you modify the circumstances of the area and they tend to go away. All right? Now here's the interesting bit, okay? Why is it, given everything that's happened in human history, and you know what? Let's just look at European history, okay? There's plenty of places in Europe that are haunted, just like there's plenty of places here in the States and South America and Asia and everywhere else, okay? Plenty. Promise you, okay? Why is it people in, say, Lyon, France, don't complain about a Celtic warrior and a Roman legionnaire duking it out every single night? Okay? Why is it people in, I don't know, Sussex County in Great Britain complain about British Civil War soldiers fighting, even though it was fought there. Okay? Why is it? We don't get reports of Revolutionary War soldiers marching through brand new housing developments. Okay? I'll tell you. It eventually breaks down. Okay? It's just an electromagnetic signature. That's it. Okay? The silicate cannot hold the charge forever. Okay? That's one of the properties of silicon and whatever it is it's surrounded by. Okay? So, if that crystal eventually breaks down enough, or that charge gets played out enough, it will eventually dissipate. Near as I can figure, that takes about 250 to 300 years. Okay? Before the signal is degraded enough to, when it plays out, it's pretty much a non-event, and you, at worst, get a prickling sensation on the back of your neck, and it's gone. Okay? The things like that, event hauntings like voices, okay, things moving, stuff like that. That's always predictable. It always happens the exact same way. That'll break down in probably 200, 250 years, okay? Maybe 300 top end, okay? The ghost haunting, well, that might take a touch longer because there's a consciousness associated with it, okay? This is an actual person. They are trapped. This is a man, this is a woman, this is a child. They were born, they died, they lived a life, they had friends, they had enemies, they had fears, hopes, dreams, everything, okay? No different than you or me, okay? Some of you may one day become a ghost. I might become a ghost. I don't know, okay? We'll find out. So when I come across a ghost haunting, like an actual verifiable ghost, I do my best to interact with it, okay? But aren't you scared? Not really, just a person. I'm actually a lot more scared of a regular human than I am of any disembodied thing. Yeah, they can be a little creepy, a little bit unnerving, but, well, I've developed a bit of a tolerance over the last few years, okay? And I've got a bunch of stories about that, which I'm going to go into in a few subsequent videos, okay? So, when I come across them, I talk to them, okay? I try to figure out what's going on, okay? And I also try to figure out if what I am perceiving is real or not. I might be hallucinating, okay? It could be just that, you know, there's a low frequency sound and it's messing with my brain and I'm having a hallucination, okay? Which is also one of the reasons why I tend to double check with other people, because group hallucinations are impossible, okay? Now, if I am having a hallucination, let's say I'm with my girlfriend at the time, okay? And we're hanging out and I see this dude walk by and then disappear, okay? He's limping or whatever, okay? And she says to me, hey, did you see that guy walk by? Hello, butterfly. And I say, why, yes, I did. Describe him to me. And we both describe it, and it's the exact same thing. Guess what? We just saw a ghost, okay? Because we both can't be hallucinating the exact same thing. It's not possible. It's been clinically proven, okay? It's also one of the reasons why I like to go based on stories, okay? What I do is, let's say I get a storybook that's got a bunch of ghost stories in it. That was redundant. And I read through it and I say, okay, this location, this mansion has this woman. She died this way. This is what she looks like. And every now and again she does this. Okay? I immediately call bull. Yeah. I'm not going, oh my goodness, it's real. No. It's hearsay. It's complete and total nonsense until I find out otherwise. Okay? That's for me. Now, if we've got 50,000 people that have all experienced the exact same thing the exact same way, they have not corroborated, they have not heard the story before, they are reporting this independently of each other, then guess what, sugar? It's real. Okay? And I'm willing to believe them. Does require some research, though. Okay? All right. Let's see here. Anything else that I want to go into in this intro? Yes. So, when I confirm that it is in fact a ghost, this is a person, I figure out what they need, what they want, okay? And if it's something that I can furnish, I help them out. If it's not, well, guess what, bud? You're dead. You need to cross over. Go into the light, okay? Go to Jesus. Happy hunting ground, yada, 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 okay? So when you do this, if you do decide to cross a ghost over by yourself, here's what you need to do. You need to approach them in the way they understand. You cannot approach a ghost as though they must bow to you, okay? Hey, look, we've got a hawk. They're hunting. How cute. Anyway, so let's say that you are a Buddhist and you come across a Hindu ghost. You can't say go to Buddha. He's not going to listen to you. He's going to think you're an idiot, and he's going to walk off, and then he's going to continue whatever it is he does. Let's say you are Catholic and you come across a good, hard Baptist. Not going to go well. The whole, power of Christ compels you thing is not going to work, okay? That's going to go sideways in the most fantastic way, okay? Might even get upset with you, okay? You need to speak in a way that they understand, okay? Now, if they don't speak English, or you don't speak whatever language they speak, then, well, you might not be able to do this one. You're going to have to figure out a way to reach this person, okay? And I highly doubt gestures and sign language is going to go over too well. They're not exactly the thinking type, okay? Mostly because they're dead and they got limited faculties, okay? So, if that happens, then you need to employ a little bit more, shall we say, radical measures. This is also the case if that ghost tends to be hostile and not wanting to cross over, or they call you an idiot. They're alive, you're the one that's dead, because they're being stubborn that day, /century. Okay? And this is where we get into other measures. This is where things like exorcism come into play. Okay? Which, if you don't have training in it, do not attempt. Just shrug, leave, and let a properly trained professional such as myself deal with it, okay? Alright. So, I think that's going to cover it for this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Also, feel free to visit my websites. I got 2 of them. Vim and Vigorelli, that is my writing website, and it is linked in with my medical website, which is Vigorelli Integrated Medicine. Both links will be in the description. I do have merchandise, by the way, for my book series. I've got some art that is available. It's cover art. I also created a logo for A-Strap Labs. That is the company that my main character owns. It's on a bunch of stuff. Go ahead and check it out. Okay? And there's also a faction that is going to be coming out in book 2 very soon. And also will be explained in the alternate history book that I'm going to be releasing hopefully this November. God, I hope so. We'll see. Okay? Kind of depends on what my betas get back to me with. Okay? So, I will be back later. I'm going to tell you some ghost stories coming up, okay? Actual stuff that has happened to me. 100% true. Swear. Okay? I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.